Canada's crime wave is out of control, and Justin Trudeau has no plan to stop it. In fact, his liberal policies are making the problem much worse. In this video, we're going to take an honest look at Canada's crime wave, what's causing the current crisis, and what's the solution. It seems like thieves and criminals are now running the streets in Canada. Violent crime, assault, rape, vehicle theft, shoplifting, and petty crime are skyrocketing across the country, worsened by the rise in homelessness, drug addiction, and anti-police propaganda from the Liberal government. Instances of fraud have also doubled over the past decade, while extortion has quintupled, while sexual assaults are also at their highest level since 1995. This is all having an extremely negative effect on society and also on the already struggling Canadian economy. There are three main reasons that crime is spiking in Canada. The economy is in the toilet, and homelessness and drug addiction is on the rise, driving desperate and criminal behavior. Soft on crime Liberal policies from the Trudeau regime and its followers, mass immigration has lessened social trust and spread police resources more thinly. How bad is it? Let's start with the murder rate in Canada, which recently reached its highest level in 3 decades in 2022, with 874 people murdered, up 9% from 2021. Gang-related homicides also made up a significant portion of the overall increase in homicides compared to the previous year. Moreover, there is a significant spike in the number of Canadian youth accused of homicide, with 90 youths implicated in 2022, compared to 33 the previous year. Among the provinces, Manitoba recorded the highest homicide rate, followed by Saskatchewan and British Columbia, while Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland and Labrador had the lowest rates. Although 2023 statistics have not yet been released, the trend is expected to worsen. A survey conducted in April 2023 revealed that 65% of Canadians believe crime has worsened compared to pre-pandemic levels. They're right, it's all around us. Take a look at the skyrocketing rates of car theft across the country.
And bingo. That's another vehicle nabbed by criminals and now recovered, seemingly undamaged.
An average of 1 car is stolen in Canada every 5 minutes, leading to an overall increase of $1 billion a year in higher insurance rates. The Liberals had 8 years to correct this problem and make real progress, stopping car theft, but did nothing. Last summer's reshuffle of the Liberal cabinet presented an opportunity for the Liberals to recalibrate their priorities and take decisive action on crime, but they didn't. Not at all. Despite the assurance from Justin Minister Arif Farani that he'd do more to stop crime, he also downplayed the crime wave we're all experiencing, saying it's not really happening and has shown he doesn't care. Instances of high-profile murders and random attacks captured vividly in videos, such as those depicting knife attacks in Vancouver and Toronto, are dismissed as isolated incidents. However, these visuals merely scratch the surface of a larger problem of lawlessness that has been burgeoning since 2014, as evidenced by recent statistics. Take Toronto, for example. The city's transit system has witnessed a huge surge in criminal activities, including stabbings and arsons. Similarly, in Vancouver, persistent theft and violence have led some businesses to cease operations entirely. Edmonton has seen an increase in stabbings at transit stops alongside a rapid proliferation of homeless encampments. When it comes to car theft, although Liberal Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne has previously outlined government intentions to prohibit the import, sale, and use of tools commonly used by thieves, such as the Flipper Zero, which can copy wireless signals for remote keyless entry, so far the theft rates are only going up. Then we come to the disturbing rise in shoplifting and petty crime across Canada. One of British Columbia's prominent retailers, London Drugs, is facing a severe and ongoing problem with violent shoplifting, which is forcing the company to consider closing several stores due to safety concerns. Despite investing significant resources in increased security measures, London Drugs reports that theft remains rampant and its staff members are frequently subjected to risks while performing their duties. Clint Mallman, president and COO of London Drugs, revealed that discussions about potential store closures in Vancouver are underway due to the escalating issue. Incidents include an employee being attacked with a hatchet for confronting a thief, and frequent threats involving knives, needles, machetes, and bear spray directed at staff. The problem extends beyond Vancouver, affecting locations across northern BC and Vancouver Island, indicating a widespread and pervasive challenge. Recent reports from a downtown Vancouver IGA branch corroborate London Drugs' concerns, with the owner highlighting a surge in violent crimes, thefts, and confrontations with weapon-wielding individuals.
Toronto, What have you got for voting for Justin Trudeau?
So how much does crime cost Canada's economy? A lot. Homicide is the most expensive offense, with costs ranging between $4.8 and $5.9 million per case to investigate, process, prosecute, and solve a case, jailing anybody convicted. Following closely are sexual assault, rape, and aggravated assault, with costs between $136,000 to $162,000 per case. As for jail, adult custody behind bars averages $81,820 annually per prisoner, while jail and detention for youth costs around $51,700 per year. That's far from chump change, and paying these costs is a huge burden on taxpayers. Then you get to the mess that Canada's justice system is in: delays, high costs, and an extreme lack of efficacy. Fewer crimes are being solved and criminal trials are taking longer than ever before as Canada's justice system struggles to keep up with growing crime rates, according to a new report from the Macdonald-Laurier Institute. The report found that the violent crime rate has increased dramatically and that people who sought aid from victim services agencies has increased steadily over the last 5 years. In the area of cost and resources, the data revealed that the average daily cost of an inmate has risen and crimes were being solved at a much lower rate in 2023, with more and more cases being stayed or withdrawn. When criminal cases do make it to trial, they also take much longer to be resolved. Our criminal justice system has unquestionably become less efficient over the last 5 years, despite the introduction of measures designed to enhance the expedient dispensation of justice, the report notes. The adverse impacts of criminal violence extends far beyond social well-being to economic stability. Studies such as one by the World Bank in 2016 on Mexico highlight substantial GDP losses due to violent crime. Criminal activity imposes a significant economic burden by deterring investments, diminishing competitiveness, and discouraging foreign investors. The damage that crime causes to the economy is significant and also includes direct costs. Criminal activities result in direct costs to the economy. This includes expenses related to law enforcement, judicial processes, and incarceration. For instance, resources are allocated to police investigations, court proceedings, and maintaining correctional facilities. These costs strain government budgets and divert funds from other essential services and investments. Loss of productivity. Crime can lead to a loss of productivity in several ways. Victims of crime may miss work due to injuries or trauma, leading to decreased output. Additionally, businesses may incur losses due to theft, vandalism, or fraud, impacting their profitability and ability to contribute to the economy. Decreased investment and tourism. High crime rates can deter both domestic and foreign investment. Businesses may be hesitant to establish operations in areas with high crime rates due to concerns about safety and security. Similarly, tourists may choose to avoid destinations perceived as unsafe, resulting in lost revenue for the tourism industry. Impact on property values. Areas with high crime rates often experience a decline in property values. This can have a negative impact on homeowners and investors, reducing their wealth and potentially leading to financial instability. Moreover, declining property values can weaken municipal tax bases, limiting resources available for public services and infrastructure development. Healthcare costs. Crime puts an even worse strain on Canada's already overburdened healthcare system, increasing the costs we have to pay and making it even harder to find a family doctor. All the thefts, assaults, rapes, and crimes taking place lead to very mentally stressed and physically unwell individuals who need urgent medical attention in a system that's already doing horribly and costs way too much. Social costs. Crime can also impose significant social costs on communities. Fear of crime can lead to social isolation, reduced community engagement, and diminished quality of life. Additionally, the psychological and emotional toll of victimization can result in long-term health issues and increased demand for mental health services, further straining public resources. Crime acts as a hidden tax on everything, making life more expensive and increasing what people have to spend to stay safe and pay for their policing and community services. It's a vicious cycle, and Canada's cost of living is already far too high to afford crime, making it even worse. Let's be honest. The rise in violent crime coincided with the election of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who advocated for a lenient approach toward offenders in contrast to his conservative predecessors. While the previous conservative government introduced stringent laws aimed at keeping violent and repeat offenders off the streets, Trudeau's regime has done the exact opposite, pursuing criminal-first policies such as trying to repeal mandatory minimum sentences and prioritizing release and bail for criminals. Trudeau's government has taken a softer stance on crime by pretending that criminals need social workers instead of police. This line of thinking is dead wrong, and the lax environment in Canada's justice system is only rewarding criminals and punishing victims. Trudeau's government also has put in bail reform and been letting violent offenders and drug addicts have an easier time to get back on the streets. Trudeau's policies have had a demoralizing effect on law enforcement agencies and on the public at large, because people can see that this guy does not care about the safety of Canadians or their families. As homelessness and crime rises, downtown cores are becoming tense, lawless places where unpredictability reigns. It's not just individuals who are being victimized either. More and more businesses also don't feel safe or secure in such an environment. Indeed, the rise in crime is also causing an increasing number of stores to close because crime is making it unsafe and unprofitable to continue doing business. Canada needs a much more assertive approach, including tougher sentencing and enhanced law enforcement measures. Trudeau's emphasis on so-called social justice, equity, and inclusivity is completely anti-factual and is based on a bizarre and extreme ideology that prioritizes the excuses of criminals over the rights of victims. The current Liberal government is unleashing swarms of mentally unwell individuals and criminals all over society at a time when social trust is the lowest it's ever been, and hundreds of thousands of new strangers from other nations are arriving in Canada every month. It's a nightmare scenario that only Justin Trudeau could dream up, and Canadians are now facing the consequences of this crime wave. Unsafe neighborhoods, rising property taxes, worse inflation, higher prices at every place they shop as businesses try to offset shoplifting costs, and an overall much worse life. It's time for Canada to get serious on crime before the country turns into a frozen version of Venezuela. If you like this video and want to learn more about what's really going on in Canada, check out this video here. And if this video brought value to you today, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing the video. Thanks for watching.